So, welcome to the South African Academy Online Racing. Well, it is the last race for Season 6. It's been a fantastic round. As you can hear, lots of people just confirming where they are this evening. We have 7 drivers, and the reason for that is that we have load shedding in South Africa. We're not familiar with the word load shedding. What happens is basically, the electricity company switches our power off for periods of time, and most of the guys that are actually involved in the racing have power outages now, basically from 8 o'clock this evening right up until 12 o'clock in the morning. So what you see is what you get, and by the way, we're actually happy to see that we do have some races that are ready to go the distance this evening here in Belgium, of all places. And I can tell you now, it looks a little bit sunny at the moment. Hopefully that's not going to change during the course of the weekend. Remember, it is an 18-minute session of qualification, and lots of guys just prepping themselves, getting themselves ready for the quali time. Remember, this is a no assist league, so there is nothing out there. There's no driving line, there's no any computer assistance. It's all down to the driver that's in the seats this evening. So yeah, it's great to have you on board, and we're excited to have you alongside us this evening. If you are watching this via the stream, I am going to just turn down, you're probably getting a bit of feedback, but I'll turn that down. Hopefully the sound is okay, and I'll be checking up on you in the next couple of minutes on the stream. So it has been quite a great one to watch so far this season. I can tell you lots of things going down. We're so glad to be a part of this evening's event, and a little bit of control needing to happen with respect to some of these drivers this evening. So I'm hoping this is going to be all good and ready to see who's going to be where and doing what when it comes to Belgium. Lots of opportunity for overtakes on this track. As you can see, some of the guys already getting themselves a little bit wide there, or Gav Pig. Hopefully he's going to bring himself back into play. Been driving the McLaren for the season. I think, yeah, he's going to be making a bit of a mindset this evening, as you can see him off the track there, as we move along to this driver who's been quite consistent this season, and why not? A little bit of a mention for this gentleman really pushing the limits in that Red Bull. Did exceptionally well in the last race, finished in 3rd position, a podium he had, so that's all great, and we're going to be watching to see what he's going to be putting up this evening. Was he in? Had a bit of bad luck in the last race. He's also another consistent driver that does drive exceptionally well here on under these conditions. So we're going to be watching him this evening. Jose in, as well as Pajama Lama, Zede, he's in, and then Boki. So that's 7 drivers we have for this evening's race, and we're going to bring all of the action to you right here this evening. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it as much as we are, and as I am going to be bringing it to you over the mic, I hope that it's going to be an exciting one for you to all watch. So with that, let's just sit back, enjoy, and watch the racing as it's going ahead here on the South African Academy Online Racing.
Between 1925 and 1973, when this title was an honorary award
Yeah, big shout out to Raptor. Nice to have you watching. Unfortunately, not joining us this evening. I was hoping you were going to join us, but I think with all the nonsense that we've got going on with the load shedding, that's obviously going to be affecting you probably as well. But yep. And thanks, Ronald, for the information. Always glad to see you update me on what's going on. So that's great news. It's going to be a dry race. So that's fantastic news for these drivers. And I'm sure already their mechanics are in the pit lanes are already strategizing on what type of tires, setup, and everything that's going to be pushed down. And you can see right now, Pajama Llama obviously trying to see if he can come back with a huge time to put himself back into the top three. Gav Pig, nice job from you this evening at 1 minute. But there you go, Pajama Llama just takes it. Wow, what a great time from him. Let's see if he can hold on to that. That's 10 minutes to go for the quali session. There's a yellow flag out. One of the drivers probably off the track. Hopefully there's no damage. And obviously they want to put themselves. But that's pushed a number of drivers down the logs at the moment. And I'm sure this is going to be an interesting one to take notice of. So we'll be putting it out there. As I said, we'll be watching what's going on. And I'm sure lots of people are going to be taking it down there, watching what's all happening here on the South African Academy Online Racing. Just under 10 minutes to go of qualification to be done. Unfortunately, this league does consist of 16 drivers. Some guys have asked why didn't we take it on and continue for next week. The problem is sort of South Africa is shutting down. And I don't mean that literally because of Eskom. I think, yeah, it's holiday season for us, so a lot of people going away. And next week is a holiday. And next week, Monday, and a lot of the guys are going to be probably going on leave because it's Christmas time. It's December. And you can see a lot of messages coming through at the moment. Just thanks for that. Appreciate the shout out there. And yeah, let's have a look what's going on. So we'll see you a little bit later on. As I said, Wazzy, by the way, has just put on a 146.136. Nicely done there, sir. So Pajama Llama 146.595. And then we've got Jose out there. He's looking to bring that 146.968 even closer down, because there is an opportunity for him to do a bit of time. You can see the pit crew running out there, obviously trying to get a hold of this car, see what they can do. They're going to probably take it in. And I'm sure the driver there, Pajama Llama, is going to be having a little bit of a chat with that lot and see what they can scrunch him up. Because they do have 8 minutes left. You can see now already one of the cars coming into the pits, pit crew coming out there, making sure what's going on. As we go out now to Jose. Jose out on the track. Let's see if he's on an outer lap. Let's see what he can muster up this evening to see if he can bring something back in a big way. So as you've just witnessed, Jose puts on a 145, 517. Wow. That now puts the cat amongst the pigeons. Let's have a look now what is going to be happening. Is there somebody else that's going to come back? And because that puts him in pole position, 3 minutes and 37 seconds left now. I think Pajama Llama obviously on and out a lap to see what he can muster up now. To see if he can put something, I think a bit wide there, unfortunately. But he's going to come back and try and get amongst... he's in third position at the moment. Can he beat that second position holder right now, which is Wazzy? And we got a great shot of the car there. I think a little bit wide at the moment. He should be probably tucked in a little bit tighter, but this is probably one of his favorite tracks. So let's see what he can do as we go on board with him right now through this last turn to see where he's going to be ending up. I think he's just geared down quite a bit there. He's going in, yellow flags out, so somebody was off on that particular street there. So he doesn't come back, but still he's got enough time. Gav Pig just comes in there. He's pushed Pajama Llama right down into fourth position now. So it's going to be an interesting race to watch this evening. Time's pretty close. So it's going to be some awesome racing as we still are on board with Pajama Llama. Here's Ranger this evening. Whoopa! A little bit of a point to contend with there. I'm sure he's going to be pretty content with his time. I think he would like to be a little bit up on the list there. But that's a respectable 1.46723. Maybe the mechanics are going to have a little bit of a chat with him going out to see a 147 from our good man Springbok Gamer. So yeah, we'll be watching that as well. 50 odd seconds left in this, so that is going to be what it is this evening. Remember, as I mentioned, this is the last race of this year, and he might actually get himself into a position where he can get around the track. If he gets around the track towards the finish line, he could probably put in a time still. So let's have a look and see where he is. Yellow flag there, coming in. He's way off the pace to try and get around the track under the time. I don't think he timed it quite right there, but let's have a look and see where he's going to put himself. So great to see the Carter boys in. As you can see right now, back as we go through for this evening's racing. And I can tell you now, it's going to be an interesting one to see. Here we are on the formation lap, just going through. And it looks all good at the moment. We do have now 9 drivers in, so some of the guys managed to get back in. We did obviously start a little bit later for those that had load shedding up until 8 o'clock this evening. Whoopsie. Just keep it on Carter Boy 45. Here we go. Gav Pig obviously looking to come through. And as you can see now, off onto the grandstand. And helicopter view over the event at the moment. Just having a look at who they are going to be up against. As you can see, the Renault in positions at the moment. Most important part going forward here is the start. And the guys have to make sure they get themselves into that position to get themselves up there. So we're going to be watching this evening, seeing how it goes and what goes down this evening. As I said, load shedding affecting us, so yeah, unfortunately that is the reality that we've got going on. Amazingly that the guys are not able to join us this evening. We normally have around about 16 drivers taking place. We only have 9 this evening because of the effects of load shedding, and a lot of people very sad this evening. As I said, we couldn't postpone this race. We had to go ahead because the holiday season is starting, and the guys wanted to race this evening. And why not? We have dedicated drivers, and unfortunately, with load shedding, that's prevented some of our star drivers racing this evening. So here we are, all lined up and ready to go. And let's just have a look and see where we are on the grid. And as you can see, up there, lights away. They're going to be going in a couple of seconds. And there they go, off their racing at the moment. As you can see now that the Kickstarter is the Renault of Jose at the moment, a little bit wide. This might mean that Wazzy goes through too much power. He was pushing through, but this is not going to slow Jose down. He's going to be looking to be right behind that Ferrari at the moment. A little bit wide is Wazzy in that Ferrari. You can see the McLaren coming through as well now, and that's going to be an interesting one because it is obviously a little bit slow around the corner there for Wazzy, but Gav Pig in a position where he can mount an attack on both of these drivers, and oh no, he is going down at the moment. I think he got onto the grass, and that is done for Gav Pig. He was doing so well at that point in time. I don't know quite what happened, but he lost it. It looked as though he got one wheel on the grass there, and that was done for him. This means that Ranger now moves up into that 3rd position, and you can see him now quite clearly behind the Renault as he's coming through. We're on board obviously with Jose now. It's 1 of 22 laps, so this is going to be quite a tight one going forward. And what a spectacle that was. Just looking at obviously how tight they were coming around that corner. And there is place and space for people to get by there. So, yeah, everybody a little bit eager to get themselves into a great position. But nice to see that Wazzy right up front there. I'm just going down now, and it looks like, oh, it is a little bit of a loss there for Carter Boy 55. Unfortunately, he's now dropped behind his brother, who is Carter Boy 45. So a little bit of rivalry at home there, I'm sure, but we'll see what's going. Pajama Llama right down at the very back. Don't quite know what was going on there in car number 65. And there is the problem. Obviously, I think he's lost the front wing. Let's just stay on board with him to see where he's at. And we can have a good look at what's actually taking place. There, that front nose comes off. So it was definitely... He's going to have a change of tires. I think he's going to be putting on mediums. And why not? He's got the opportunity there. Gav Pig left the session. Unfortunately, he's out. Not too happy about that, I'm sure, for this evening. But, I mean, it's one of those things. So, let's go back up with Wazzy at the moment. You can see that Jose hot on his tail. And maybe we can actually put ourselves into the car there and see how he's handling. It might also be interesting that we have a quick overview of exactly who is where and what. So let's do that. That's going to give us an indication. You can see that was pretty wide, but there he goes through and it passes Wazzy now. So Jose takes that pole position. Obviously for us to see how many and what's going on would be an interesting one at the end of the day. So let's do that as we go forward there. Wazzy just pulling in behind. He's going to go tight now because that racing line you have to be a little bit tighter. He's now falling back one position, 2 seconds, but there you can see already that Ranger starting to catch up. This might be an interesting one for him to go around now and catch. And you can see there that Jose looking and checking out where he is on the track to see if he can possibly put himself on podium tonight. But that is, whoa, that was so close. And I think he almost lost it there. But Ranger's out. Ranger, unfortunately, hit probably the back of that car. He's gone out. I'll just go down to Carter Boy to see where he is. But it could be that he's gone into the wall. As he's gone into the wall, there he is. Unfortunately, car damage there. So he's actually out of this race this evening. Unfortunately, Ranger not in a happy space now because of that particular collision. But let's just see if we can get an outward shot to see if that car's still on the track. No, it's not. It's already been removed. Thank goodness, because it was definitely in a very difficult area for the drivers at this point in time. So 7 drivers in this race. Is there something that can be done in order to spice this up even more? Because at the moment you can see lots of driving taking place, and wow, it has been very exciting so far, based on what you've seen this evening. So here we are on board with the race leader, number 28, that is TNB Wazzy. And you can see right in the back there, obviously an indication there, because it looks as though that we've got a pit stop going on at the moment. Is he coming out of the pits? No, he's actually coming into the pit, so a bit of damage. Let's have a look and see what was taking place there. That nose cone's being replaced, so that was the cause of that. I'm also interested to see what sort of tires we've got coming up at the moment. Let's go along those lines. So who's got what on where, and let's just have a look at the stops at the moment. So obviously, Jose's had one stop. Carter Boy 45's had a stop, and so is Pajama Llama. They've all had stops. Is there a possibility to see what tires? Yes, we've got medium, soft, and then hard. So a little bit of a strategy change for the guy that we're on board with now. That's Jose. He's put on the hards. Is this going to really affect his driving this evening? Or is this going to enable him to go through right to the end and watch what actually happens. I know that collision was I couldn't see it, and I didn't see what went on because it was quite exciting. I was in the second position at the time there to see who was doing what. Pajama Llama in 7th position this evening, but I'm sure that's going to change, knowing him. Very determined driver, and also wants to get himself into the points this evening, especially for the team. And I do believe that he's going to obviously do something miraculous this evening. And let's just keep an eye on what he's doing. But this driver, very successful in the start, as well as getting and avoiding a collision, which is the traditional black helmet, as you can see right now, of Wazzy at the moment. So Wazzy in the Ferrari, putting on some vicious times. Let me just see if I can give you what the times were on that at the moment. So if we talk about the leader at the moment, 4 seconds ahead of this arrival. The fastest lap at the moment definitely was with Ranger, and he had a 150, especially with a full tank. He had a 150.991. So well done there, Ranger. Unfortunately out of this race this evening due to an incident. I wasn't too sure what happened, but it was absolutely terrific to watch when I was on board with Wazzy, because I think Jose lost it a little bit and you were right behind them, and I don't know if there was a place to go, but maybe you can just give me a heads up on that and see what was actually taking place there. So back down to Pajama Llama. He's catching Carter Boy 45 quite quickly. And if we go up now here on those hards, we've got Jose. He's done a 151.405. Carter Boy 55 is in the Ferrari this evening. That's because of the late coming, so he's going to be in a particular place. And then in 3rd position is the Red Bull, the Aston Martin Red Bull. As you can see at the moment, there is the green helmet, green and gold helmet of Springbok Gamer, just making sure he wants to be in the right place on the podium this evening, because that would mean if he finishes in this position this evening, that is 2 poles. And there we go now. Jose on the hards, by the way, on the hards, puts on the fastest lap, and whoa, he's gonna lose it like that. He's got to get it going. He's got to get it going quickly, as he's gonna be in trouble. He's put himself back on the track. This has given Carter Boy a bit of time to catch up. Unfortunately, that means that he's lost a heck of a lot of time right now. I'm not too sure on the details. There they are now, coming up. So that means that 5 laps done on these tires this evening. Great to see that happening. And there we go. Carter Boy, he's on the Super Softs this evening, making some headway. And then we've got Boinkies. Boinkies doing very well this evening. Ronald is actually Boinkies, so Ronald doing very nicely. He's done a 156.153. He's on the softs. He's got 5 laps on those tires. As you can see him coming through start and finish now. 7 laps of this 22 race race done. So 7 laps done, and we're going to be watching what's going on, because it's really been quite an interesting to watch. Here in Belgium, temperature looks fantastic. It's a lovely sunny day and lots of heat coming off the track, as you can see. So many guys ask, is that simulation active? Yes, the track temperature will affect the driving condition of these motor vehicles, so they can obviously, rest assured, you will see there is a difference. So as I said, Wazzy with the traditional black, but he's actually put a bit of red in that helmet. Didn't realize that until we had a nice close-up view of that. So he normally rides or races with black helmet, but nice to see that he's taken on the colors of Ferrari, as he is the competitor for Ferrari this evening in this particular race. So nicely done. I'm not going to be leaving you just to see where we're going to be all playing out, just to give my voice a bit of a rest, because it has been quite exciting to watch so far. Car number 91 is obviously Ronald LaRue. Boinkies, he's done a nice move or two there, so he's doing exceptionally well. Springbok Gamer, not to be coughed at, in third position this evening. So he's done an awesome one. We started off with 9. We've now got 7 left. Hopefully these guys can go right through to the end of this 22-lap event. And here we are on board now with the Reynolds. Both Reynolds in. So this is definitely going to be an advantage for the Reynolds team this evening. Remember, these are the hybrid versions of the Formula One cars, and he's just put on another great fast lap. Pulls it back even with the hards. So I'd like to see what he would do with maybe some softs on there, but I don't think that's going to happen this evening. I think he's going to go as far as he can with that compound. So, yeah, just having a look at what was going on there. At the moment, I mean, even a better quickest lap there done by Jose with a 150.070. I just had a look at the footage that was sent through from Ranger. And, yep, it looks interesting. But there we go. Wassi just puts on those super softs a 147. So now we're starting to see those times coming back. He's just done 2 laps on that. 2 strategy setup going on there. So we'll have a look now. 16 laps of this 22 laps done by these drivers. I'm going to be wanting to see who is going to be looking at maybe having another pit stop at this point in time. And you can see the stops already up there, 1 stop each. And let's have a look now of who's going to be going where. Because that's quite interesting. The times are actually pretty decent at the moment, based on a 147 with those full tanks. So obviously the management there, what's going on. Obviously looking at the energy. Looks as though somebody's off. It could be. Yes, it is. Let's just drop down. Quickly having a look here. Both the Renault drivers on one another. So that's an interesting one. Putting up a time. And I'm just swishing up again to our race leader who's done 16 laps on these on this track at the moment. Tire conditions at the moment, it looks as though Wassi, good move from him, and could be his first win of the season. Looking at what we've seen so far, if he can just keep it all together. He is somewhat quite in the lead. I just want to have a look. What is the leader distance? He's 10 seconds in front of Ronald at the moment. And then 25 seconds behind him, the race leader now is Springbok Gamer. So that's an interesting affair or two there. So 18 laps done by Wassi now. Not too far to go. 4 laps in it. And can there be a change at the top? That's the question. He is somewhat taking a bit of leave from the second and third position at the moment. So really putting on some quick times there. It looks as though that Carter Boy 55 just picked up a penalty there. He's got to watch himself. Remember, this is a 50% race. Normally 44 laps done on this Belgium circuit. And it is a lot of the drivers' favorite circuit. And you can see why. Lots of driving can be done around this track. It does tend to leave some guys. There's a 3-second penalty, multiple warning given to Jose, who I think is trying to come back in a big way now to get himself into a position where he can at least put an attack on to Springbok Gamer. So there we are at the moment, but you can see there is quite a distance between them at the moment. Maybe I can actually get up and say the individual gaps there for you. And you can see there's a 10-second gap, around about 13 seconds from Springbok Gamer. So there's the individual gaps going. You can see lots of management happening. He's on level 1 on that energy setting at the moment. So can he come back in a big way and push through? 46% now. Obviously going to be looking for some braking. And that's the big factor when it comes to these hybrid cars, is to ensure that you absolutely optimize on all of the energy settings to try and get it up. And you can see the consumption going down hugely when it comes to obviously the energy that's being put on the wheels by these motor vehicles. A bit of slip sliding away there. And now the time is to actually build up the energy again, because he's got to look for that right position. He's gaining the energy. He's going to try and bring that up. You can see energy 2 put back on position 2. So he's going to be looking to scream down this hill and see if he can get that energy up to where he wants to be. Braking, obviously bringing a lot of energy back into the cells there, and then obviously going on. 20 laps done of this race. So you can see here this gentleman really doing it this evening, putting himself into a position where he's going to take this Grand Prix if he continues along these lines. Obviously, looking, he's got energy level on 5. He's really managed his energy level very, very nicely there. And you can see now he's really just taking it nice and easy. Around about 200 kilometers per hour down here. Energy setting at 5. So he probably could go a lot quicker. And I think we'll see that probably towards the end of this race as he puts himself. Let's go on board with our race leader, Wazzy, at the moment to see how he's handling this track. You see very neat lines from Wazzy this evening. Why not? He's absolutely having so much fun. A little bit of a slide there, but manages to hold it nicely. Coming in looking for the break points. This is that long area sweeping down towards the finish line. As he comes up, there's the 100-meter board. There's the 50-meter board. Just pushes it right, then left, and then really flat out now as fast as you can, gearing through into fifth, sixth. Now he's going to come up on the 50-meter board, tucks it in nicely there, looking for a great opportunity to pull it away as close to that wall as possible, and then obviously pushing it, hitting it on the curb, pulling it back really into the DRS zone, which is not active for him at the moment. but he's up to about 10,000 RPM, 320 kilometers an hour, and then brakes into about 150, 160, and pushes this ground nicely. A little bit on the curve there, nothing too much to worry about as we're coming through this last section for him. And he's got one more lap to go, a bit wide there. I'm sure he's not happy with that, but he'll be talking to himself, making sure he's correcting himself. Now this is almost flat out, and when I say flat out, you can see he's doing about 280 kilometers an hour into that. This is that little break down into about 170, then pulls it across into the 180 mark, then flat out down into the sector, heavy on the brakes, down into around about 4th, then 5th, then 6th, and now keeping it really tight into 7th. He's going to go up to 8th probably if he can just get it on a little bit more. I know he's using the power now and really pushing it through. And here we come down into that 50-meter board. There's the 100, there's the 50. The 50's on the right side. Just pushes it through here now, nicely tucked in deep, and then perfectly through there into 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and here we can go actually into 7th, and then pulls it back again. We are on lap 22 now. It is the final lap of this race. As we've been on board with this gentleman, it's been exciting to watch. Just behind him now is the driver Boinkies, who is Ronald LaRue, very nicely driven from his side, and I'm sure he's going to be quite ecstatic with his overall position. And then, as I said, on board with this gentleman once again into 4th. As you can see, very consistent driving from Wazzy this evening. Always looking for that opportunity to break any part of the records for this track, and it's been an exciting one to watch. Just coming through now, almost pacing himself. We've got a yellow flag out, so obviously 2 of the quickest on the track at the moment. Let's just go back down onto stops. So stop, it was a one-stop race for the majority of the guys. Here's the change in positions. So Boinkies gets the golden ticket there for 5. Oh, and that's exactly what you didn't want there. He's going to be bringing that back on there. And I don't know if that was tires, but I'm sure he's almost relieved there. But he's only done eight laps on those tires, which is a lot, let's be honest. But I think he would have lost, he would have been devastated if he had lost this race now and gone out of the race, leading the race at this point in time. But now he goes across the line as the overall race champion of Belgium. A fantastic race from you, Wazzy. Nicely done. Let's just go back now quickly. There, oh, I missed it. There is Boinkies coming through there. There is Springbok Gamer. And then here is a gentleman that obviously is a little bit disappointed with himself, I'm sure, with his performance this evening. He was leading this race, and Jose comes in at that 4th position. Pajama Llama now, as we look down on him, he's coming through 20 laps, 21 laps done on those mediums. Nice job from him. I mean, he had an incident in the beginning of the race, so that did put him at somewhat of a big disadvantage for this. Here comes Carter Boy 45. They're going to finish this evening, so nice work from them. And they're in the one's in the McLaren team. So I know he's racing here at the moment for the Mercedes-Benz guys, but he will definitely. And then here in the Ferrari, also coming through. There we go. Nice spin out from him right towards the end, and he brings it through. He's done, and hopefully he doesn't crash it before he gets through, because he needs to finish. And I think he he's going to pull that through now to finish this race in 7th position. Very, very nice racing from everybody this evening. Unfortunately, some of the guys not making it through, but there we go. You can see at the moment now all of the drivers on the podium, and they're celebrating Wazi in his victory #1 this evening. And then you can see it is quite an interesting one, because I want to see now what happened now. Yep, it is. So another 3rd position for Springbok Gamer, and then Boinkies comes in and he takes that 2nd position. That's the overall. You can see the major penalties taking place, and however, it is all done and dusted for this season. It's been a fantastic season, very short, 5 races, but I can tell you now, thoroughly enjoyed by everybody. We'd like to just wish you a safe journey on your holidays during December. Come back safely, come back with a lot of energy, revived, and we will bring you more racing on this channel, and it's been a fantastic one. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great one. Hit that like button, get involved in online racing, and we just enjoyed having you this season. So thank you very much. God bless, and we'll see you next time here on the South African Motorsport Racing Online, whatever you want to call it, but it is the South African Academy Online Racing. Thank you very much for joining us. God bless, and we'll see you on the track soon.